How cool are the flames on this cake? I'm Emily from British Girl Bakes, and I'm going to show you how to decorate this cake. Start with red, orange and yellow candy melts. Heat them in the microwave at 80% power for 30 seconds at a time, stirring in between microwaving until they're melted. We're going to start with the flames that go around the cake. Grab a piece of parchment paper and an offset spatula or a spoon. Start with the red candy melts and swipe a stroke of colour. Do a few rows of these, leaving space in between each row for the rest of the flame. Next, use your orange candy melts to do the same stroke with your offset spatula or spoon on top of the red ones. Do this straight away before the red candy melts set, so the colours blend together. Continue with the yellow candy melts, using your spatula to pull the candy melts into a peak to make the tip of the flame. For a 6-inch cake, you'll need about 15 flames to go all the way around, but it's a good idea to make a few extra in case some break. Leave the flames at room temperature for a few hours to set. Optionally, after they set, you can trim off the bottom of each flame so they sit level with the cake board and completely cover the bottom of your cake. Now blow up a balloon until it's the size you want your flame topper to be. Oops, hold on tight! Let's try again. I'm letting some air out until it's the size I want. Choose a colour for your balloon that's different to the flames. Black, blue, purple. This will make it easier later on. Tie the balloon and then cover the base with red candy melts, using a spoon or an offset spatula. Keep the coverage quite thick enough so you can't see the balloon through the candy melts, because if it's too thin, it'll crack when you take the balloon away. That's why a contrasting colour like blue or black for the balloon is a good idea. Then add a ring of orange candy melts, swiping away from the red to blend the colours a bit. Then a ring of yellow, pulling up peaks irregularly around the balloon. I find it's easier to do this with a spatula than a spoon, but both work. If you like this tutorial, please click the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for new cake decorating tutorials every week. Place the balloon on parchment paper or a silicone mat or board to set. By placing the base of the flames down, the candy melts will form a flat surface which will eventually make them sit flat on the cake. You can use a glass or any heavy object to prop up the balloon. Leave the flames to set for about an hour in the fridge. This makes them stronger. Then cut a hole just above the knot of the balloon. If you cut the middle of the balloon, it will burst and the candy melts will crack with the sudden force. The hole in the loose part of the balloon will gradually let air out, so the balloon will deflate slowly, pulling slowly away from the candy melt flames. When the balloon stops deflating by itself, use your fingers to gently pull the balloon away from the flames. When you pull the balloon out, you'll be left with these awesome looking flames. To build my cake, I'm placing a dollop of chocolate ganache on a 6-inch cake board to secure my first layer of chocolate cake. I'm using chocolate ganache as filling between my layers of cake and also as the frosting. You can use ganache or any flavour of buttercream frosting, but chocolate works well because the flames really stand out. I'm applying a crumb coat to seal in any crumbs that might come off the cake, refrigerating the cake for about 30 minutes so the crumb coat sets, and then applying my final layer of frosting. I apply my frosting with an offset spatula, making sure it comes up all around the sides and above the top of the cake, and then use a frosting scraper to smooth it. Then I use my frosting scraper or an offset spatula to pull the frosting from the top of the sides of the cake onto the top of the cake. Wherever there are indents or gaps in my frosting, I apply a bit more with my spatula and then smooth it with my frosting scraper. I'm chilling my cake and then when the frosting sets, moving it onto a clean cake board. Now just press your flames into the frosting all around the base of the cake. Because the flames are at room temperature, they should stick to the frosting. If they don't, apply a bit of fresh frosting to the back of each flame or onto the cake where the flame is going to go, and then press the flame against the cake. You can overlap the flames slightly or place them just touching each other. Doesn't that look amazing? like the cake is on fire. For the final touch, add the flame topper. Spread a bit of frosting on the base and then stick it onto the top of the cake, pressing down gently to secure it. And there it is! Thanks for watching! Remember to subscribe to my channel.